It is 12 o'clock Central, and I am live. Hey, folks, how you doing? This is Kurt. I see that my eyes are completely blacked out, so let me spin this around for you. Went and got my Lifter LMS official swag hat while that intro was playing. I see we've already got a couple of people that are in the channel live. So if you would, go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know where you're from. And with that, I want to welcome people to the Lifter LMS pre-sales call. If you're wondering where my partner in crime is, he is spoiling himself. He is at WordCamp Asia, meeting all the movers and shakers in WordPress, and he'll be back next week, I assume, with just more enthusiasm, more energy, and all that stuff that Will brings to the table. So you got just me today. So just me. So you got to take it easy on me. If you've been coming to these pre-sales calls for a while, you know that Will is really, really quick at the screen shares and really quick with his answers. And for some reason seems to have all the magical links right on some kind of, quick key code on his keyboard. I don't know. He's faster than I am at all this stuff. It's his youth. It's his youth, I tell you. But bear with me on this one today. I'll be solo, and I'm here to help you in a pre-sales format, talk about all things Lifter LMS, some things WordPress, and get people pointed in the right directions. That all said, I am going to, I guess I'll leave it on all destinations today for my comments. And I'll tell you right now that I am in Hutchinson, Kansas. And I don't know what you guys know about the Midwest here, but it was 75 degrees at the beginning of the week and sunny. Not sunny all the time. Like there's a weird grayness here that happens in the mornings. But, around noon or so, the sun was out and it got to be like 70, 75 degrees in the afternoon. And then last night, about 4 o'clock in the morning. So this morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, we wake up and the whole sky above us is just a constant grumble. Just whoa, 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 whoa. And I was like, wow, what the heck is that? Aliens are real. And then next thing you know, we got a heck of a storm falling down all around us. They projected hail, and sure enough, I heard the hail bouncing off my car, bouncing off my truck, bouncing off the house. And thank goodness, I think the hail was small enough to not damage anything. But it was quite the wake up. And they're projecting something like weather in the 20s for the weekend. So as my son is getting ready for spring break, we are looking at a temperature dip into the 20s. I'm going to put you on mute and scream down the stairs. There we go. Just let my wife know that I'm live. She just got home for a lunch break. So that all said, I'd love to see some comments roll in, questions, comments, concerns, thoughts about using Lifter LMS, different use cases for Lifter LMS, when to have a learning platform, and when to maybe not have a learning platform. That's the interesting thing about doing a pre-sales call like this is I am very, very use case driven. And so when I am working with clients or consulting with somebody at this level, and I'm saying, hey, what's your use case? Sometimes, and you might be surprised, but I think that this sentiment is even, blessed by the folks that run Lifter LMS. It's not meant for everybody. This isn't a fix-all for every use case. So sometimes you come along and you go, oh, wait a minute. I got this situation where I thought I was doing an online course or I thought I was doing something, but really you're doing online consulting. Maybe you would do better with a Zoom integration and an appointment setting program, right? So there's all kinds of ways to kind of skin these cats and get into different things. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to dive into a couple of different things maybe we can talk about today. One thing I want to talk about today for sure, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Lifter LMS recommended resources page. There we go. And let me pull up a screen share for you so you guys don't get lost in the things that I am trying to do. We'll go to the windows, to the walls. There we go. Okay. I'm looking at, I'm going to dive into a couple of different things maybe we can talk about today. One thing I want to talk about today for sure, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Lifter LMS recommended resources page. There we go. And let me pull up a screen share for you so you guys don't get lost in the things that I am trying to do. We'll go to the windows, to the walls. Yeah, I drive my kids crazy with that stuff too. All right. So this should be showing the recommended resources page. And I wanted to go over this with you guys for one thing in particular. We do list people that we have vetted. So we have a curated list of recommended resources, things that we say, oh, hey, you could use this and you'd be okay, right? So MemberHost, WP Tana, Cloudways, Kinsta, Bluehost. So we go down through the thing, right? One of the ones I wanted to kind of talk about because it came up in a support ticket this morning was Paid Memberships Pro. Here we go. Paid Membership Pro. Now, this is one of the things that I try to articulate with people that I'm helping in the LifterLMS community. You see, if I were to open this page up in a new tab and go right to the home page, right, you're going to see our home page, and there's a lot of material here. There's a lot of content. And of course, a lot of it is, hey, use LifterLMS, use LifterLMS. But if you go over here to search, this is a Google assisted search box that will find whatever you want to find. So in this case, I'm going to do Paid Membership Pro. And bear with me on this. There's a reason to my madness. And so as this comes up, you'll notice Paid Membership Pro, and it gives me, the list, right? So this is the curated list of everything that has to do with Paid Membership Pro in the LifterLMS systems. But if I wanted a help doc, I would click on this. If I wanted to read the blog post about it, I would click there. Do we have a podcast about Paid Membership Pro? I would click there. What's the access to the developer hub for that? That's right there, right? Case studies, products. And so you're able, webinars, courses. And so we're able to break down that search to find specifically what we want. And so one of the things that I drive people to is like, hey, how do I get more information? How do I find out my use case? And I started talking about the use case, and I don't want to get too far down a rabbit hole and distracted and lose where I'm going with this. Customer reached out, and they were asking me questions about putting SCORM into their learning platform. SCORM is a whole other discussion, okay? But then they said, here's all my questions about SCORM. And then they sent another support ticket and said, oh, yeah, by the way, we also use Paid Memberships Pro. Okay. Well, Paid Memberships Pro is a membership plugin. So now LifterLMS is a great tool for managing the learning content, but it's also a great tool for managing the membership access. And so if you already have a website with Paid Memberships Pro, you have this weird thought. You're like, am I contradicting my existing site to add, this powerhouse plugin to my website? And my simple answer to that is no, you're not. But there's a resource that's kind of hidden. So if we go to recommended resources, we're going to say learn more about Paid Memberships Pro, right? That's kind of the standard link. But if we look below that, we're going to see check this PM Pro resource for your use case. And so I'm going to open this in a new tab. I'm just going to act like Will. I'm going to open tabs up all over the place. All right. But here's the deal. Create beautiful courses, coaching programs, cohorts, and more from a LMS website that you own and control. View in the repository. It's going to show you how to download LifterLMS. But when you look at how this works, if you already have Paid Memberships Pro and you add LifterLMS, there's an integration that happens. And so you're able to enable a streamlined version of LifterLMS, right? So install the LifterLMS plugin, add new, activate. You already have Paid Memberships Pro. So in the LifterLMS setup wizard, check the box, enable the streamlined version of, because you'll see the message right here. Since you already have Paid Memberships Pro installed, you can enable a streamlined version of LifterLMS that will let PM Pro handle all the checkouts, memberships, restrictions, and user fields. And so basically what this does is it strips out the membership running portion of LifterLMS, and it lets you run the learning content, and the access plans and all of that stuff is managed. But Paid Memberships Pro is in charge of like your people access, if that makes sense. And so I just want to make sure that people see these kinds of things. I don't like the idea that people can get lost in these flows and go, oh, well, this is contradicts this and this contradicts that, and I can't use that product because I'm on, I got Paid Memberships Pro, or I'm using SureCart, or I have a WooCommerce site, I can't add that. Well, you can, right? Because LifterLMS has an integration with WooCommerce. SureCart has an integration with LifterLMS. Groundhog, a CRM tool, has an integration with LifterLMS. LifterLMS has an integration with MailChimp. And so there's all of these things that work together. So if you know your use case going in, if you know what you're building overall from the top down, if you come in with a strategy, you're able to put together a set of tools and strategize the way to implement those tools in a way that matches your use case efficiently. Oh, pardon me. And so that to me is something that I really wanted to kind of get going today and talk about. The other thing on this ticket, am I still screen sharing? No, I'm not. Okay. So the other thing in this ticket was talking about grass blade, and let me go back to there. I'm going to go to SCORM. I don't know why I'm doing that lately. That must be a sign that I'm getting old. When you hit certain keys more than once all the time, I don't know how that happens, but I'm going to pull up this post right here. I'm going to go back to that screen share, and we're going to go back to, here we go, how to display SCORM on WordPress using LifterLMS. Now, SCORM's an interesting thing. And the reason I'm bringing it up this week on the pre-sales call is kind of for a couple of reasons. If I go back to this screen, I'm going to add a banner that's going to say, ask your questions in the chat. I haven't seen any questions come in the chat yet. So that opens me up to be able to talk about the things that I think are important this week. And that takes me to SCORM and your LifterLMS site. I've gotten multiple questions about SCORM this week. So I want to make sure that I kind of talk about what SCORM is and how to get it onto your website. So SCORM is a learning package. Now this stuff is old. This technology is like 20 years old, but corporations used it. So remember, if we go in the Wayback Machine, right? So if we were Doctor Who and we had our own TARDIS and we went back in time, and we went back to the beginning of e-learning, just getting into the business marketplace, it wasn't on, WordPress. I don't even know if it was on Moodle at that point, right? So there were these custom learning management platforms made, and they were expensive. A couple $100,000 would get a company, their own learning platform. And the way that they would author their e-learning was through these SCORM tools. And so a popular one now is Articulate 360 with the Storyline software, right? So there's Storyline, there's Rise, there's Captivate, and there's these authoring tools where it kind of puts the whole course into like an animated PowerPoint. There's different features or interactive features that you can put into these. You can put messages up, you have to click things. You can have like surveys inside the window. You can do all kinds of things with SCORM, make it more interactive. Now, personally, I think in a modern world, using the native course builder in LifterLMS, I can build wonderfully interactive, fantastic courses just using LifterLMS and the course builder. In fact, I just put a course together on another website last night after hours, and I edited 14 videos, transcribed those videos, and added all those to 14 lessons and got that published last night, right? Try to do that in a SCORM package. When I worked at Suzuki and we would use SCORM packages there, at that location, we used Articulate. So we had Articulate Storyline 2. And my instructional designer would be given all of the material for the course. So between writing the material, giving it to the instructional designer, and having them build it out in Articulate Storyline, I was looking at about 300 hours of labor, right? And that would be for a course that would last 45 to 50 minutes. So I have 50 minutes of learning material, and I'm spending 300 hours of corporate labor to build that package. So that gives you kind of an idea of what SCORM is, kind of, or why they use it. So SCORM creates a package. It's a zip file, largely JavaScript, and you need a way to be able to play that on your website. So we have this resource here, and I'm going to copy the link, and I'll put the link into our chat so you have it. And I'll put here link to SCORM resource. See, I told you Will was faster. And I'll put that right there. And we will put that up on the screen too. Okay. And then I'll go back to, there we go, back to the screen. So SCORM in your LifterLMS website. I'm doing a lot of talking to get to where I'm trying to go. So can you put SCORM in your website? Absolutely. How do we do that? Well, we use a tool called GrassBlade. So GrassBlade, you subscribe to. GrassBlade, there we have, what is SCORM? Does WordPress support SCORM? How do I add SCORM? GrassBlade, right? And so the third-party plugin GrassBlade is sold on a per-site license agreement. It's kind of like subscriptions for WooCommerce. They don't have an agency license. They don't have a 10-site license. They have a 1-site license. And I believe it's like $99 a year. So you get GrassBlade, you subscribe to that, and you add that plugin to your website. But you still have to connect GrassBlade and LifterLMS together. And for that, there is a free integration between GrassBlade and LifterLMS. That's free. So you subscribe to GrassBlade, and then you connect the two with the integration. And that's what this is all about, right? So how do you set up SCORM in your WordPress website? You're going to put in GrassBlade. You're going to, add your stuff in to be able to do that. So GrassBlade X API Companion is the tool that connects with LifterLMS and ties it all together. And then you're able to, let me go down to the bottom here. How do we embed that? Here we go. You're basically just going to add that SCORM package now to the back of your website. GrassBlade interprets that and gives you a short code. And then you take that short code. How do I upload to my website? Here we go, upload. So you're going to add the title, add the content, select your zip SCORM file. You're going to choose that, put that in place. And when it loads, you get this short code. And that short code can go anywhere on the website to display your SCORM package. So multiple times this week, I've been getting these questions like, can I run SCORM on my LifterLMS website? The short answer is yes. Like, absolutely, sure. Like, it's WordPress. We'll figure it out. You can do it. I'm pretty sure you can do it. I'm almost sure you can do it, right? But in this case, someone says, can we run SCORM? I say, yes, you can do it, but you need an additional tool. That's the GrassBlade. And sometimes people would say, well, that sounds confusing. And that's why we have this resource that's built right here that shows people step by step how to install GrassBlade, how to connect GrassBlade, and how to display the results on their website. I'm stumbling over my words a little bit because there's another level here, and that is the LRS tool. So GrassBlade has an additional add-on that is available using a learning record store. There we go. So a learning record store is another tool that goes into your website. And what this does is when a SCORM package is running, there are activities that are output from the SCORM package. So when someone signs into it, that's an activity. Someone opens up, the first section, that's an activity. Someone completes the first section, goes to the second section, that's an activity. Someone answers a question that's in the screen, that's another activity. Someone completes a quiz that's in the package, that's another activity. Someone completes the lesson, that's an activity. Completes the course, that's another activity. All of these actions, all of these activities, they have to go somewhere, right? And so what happens is GrassBlade plays the content, and that's it. It just plays the content. It doesn't record the activities or anything like that. It just plays the content. It's almost like embedding a YouTube video, right? It's just playing the content. So what some people will do is they'll say, okay, I'll play the SCORM content on the website in a lesson, and then I'll add another lesson, and that's where I'll put the Lifter LMS native quiz, and I'll use that native quiz in Lifter LMS as my knowledge check or my test or my certification component, right? And then everything works. Like natively in Lifter LMS, everything works. But see, some companies, when they author their SCORM packages, they put the quizzing right inside the SCORM package. So if someone completes the quiz in the SCORM package, if that's not recorded somewhere, if that activity doesn't get reported somewhere, it's like it never happened, right? And so that's why you need a learning record store attached to your website to integrate with your GrassBlade account that will record all those activities. So it records those activities on an outside server pretty much, right? And then what happens is when the user refreshes their screen after they complete the course or complete the lesson, those activities sync with the Lifter LMS reporting. So that's how Lifter LMS is able to give you, grades and progress reports and things like that from your score material. It's because you added what they call a learning record store. And so I know that this is turning into a longer explanation, especially on a pre-sales call, but in our pre-sales questions this week, we've had this come up multiple times. So I just wanted to make sure that people that might have received my invitation to join this live call or might see a replay of this live call would see that, yes, absolutely, you can run the SCORM content. Not only can you run the SCORM content, but you can also track the learner progress, give personalized learning experiences, get better decision making through the course delivery. You can have compliance reporting. So when you are attached to the learning record store, it records all the activities. Some of those activities aren't even part of the Lifter LMS reporting, right? And so you can access those separate LRS records and you can use that for your reporting purposes as well. And if you're super picky about the way that the reporting integrates, you could always have that custom developed. You can always have the Lifter LMS reports developed to provide that reporting in one place instead of having to go to another place as well. But, it integrates with other tools and you can scale it and all of that stuff. Why do I get so focused on this concept? One of the reasons that I get so focused on this concept is because, quite honestly, I come from a corporate background where I watched corporations spend hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of dollars on e-learning. And in some cases, there might have only been 200 or 300 active students in those sites, but those sites were costing, well over six figures to host and maintain. And, then I get exposure to the WordPress world and, I can host a website for $10 a month. Okay. The Infinity program at Lifter LMS, drop in the bucket compared to hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so when I look at the capitalization that it would take for me to grow a corporate learning experience inside the WordPress environment compared to a custom LMS website, of 10, 12, 15 years ago, I'm always blown away at the comparison. And what's kind of awkward about it is a lot of people in the corporate space still operate with this false assumption that they need these $100,000 websites or they need these $200,000 websites, to have secure and safe and private training for their group, their staff, their community, whatever. When in reality, it can be built in WordPress, it can be secure, and you can use these really awesome tools. If you want to run those SCORM courses that you paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to make, 8 years ago, you can totally run those inside your site and there wouldn't be any problem with that at all. I'm going to go ahead and get that link down because it looks like anyone that wanted to get that would have it by now. And we are at pre-sales questions in the chat. Does anybody have any questions? I don't see any comments rolling in yet. Y'all going to leave me hanging. I can't believe y'all going to leave me hanging like this. You could make up a question. You can just make me work for it today. Let me take a look here. I'm going to get rid of that. Yeah. So we talked about the paid memberships pro. We talked about SCORM. Let me go back into these. I had a couple of things pop up in mine. Nope. Oh, here's one. So someone is putting together some courses, right? Says we would like to set up the courses in this way. The main certification course is called blah, 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 blah. I want to make these 3 courses. So this is interesting, right? Because it's like, this is our main course, but I want to make these 3 courses, right? So 3 courses mandatory before they can take this course. So they have 3 courses they want to make mandatory before someone can take this course. So they have a gaggle of stuff to do as a prerequisite, and then this, right? So it says, I would like them to be able to pay for each course as they go. Can I do that? Absolutely. I would also want to make it mandatory to order a copy of my book as part of the course. Making it mandatory to order a book, that one's kind of hard. It would be a product in WooCommerce products. I was watching the track video and was wondering the best way to set this up. Whew. Well, a prerequisite to buy a product to access your course can be a little difficult, but what you could do, see, here's the thing with WordPress, there's always multiple ways to do things. So I want to think this one through. So the first part of the question was, I have 4 courses and I want to force people to take 3 courses before they take the 4th course. That part's easy. That part's really easy, right? So what you can do, depending on if you want them to take the courses in order or not, I guess it doesn't really matter in that regard, but you could make these courses a prerequisite for this course. You could make this course a prerequisite for this course a prerequisite for this course, and this course a prerequisite for this course. And then you force that chronological learning arc that you might be looking for, right? Or you could say, I'm going to put these 3 courses in a membership and you have to complete, these 3 courses before you do this course. You can do that. There's a million different ways to kind of structure that. But when we get to how do I make someone buy my book to take my last course, that's an interesting question there. Now, this is a pre-sales call. So I want to try and come up with something that's fairly simple. But here's what I'll do. When you create a course in LifterLMS, and I'll show you exactly where this is actually. So I will open up a test site for you guys, and we'll go do a screen share. All right, that's open. So boom, let's go into the dashboard. Let's go into courses. And when we take a look at a course and we edit that course, we're going to go down to sales page content and right here. So redirect to a WordPress page, redirect to a custom URL, or show custom content. So redirect to a WordPress page. So if somebody wants to go to this course, what we can do, if they're not already enrolled in the course, that's the killer, right? If they're not already enrolled in the course, is I can redirect them to a WordPress page, and then it just takes them to some page inside the website that is already predetermined, right? So it could be benefits. It could be, anything. It could be the purchase. No, we don't want to do that. We could say shop. This is a good example. We'll say go to the shop. Okay. So when they get to the shop could be that WooCommerce product, because she mentioned WooCommerce. And so if we send unenrolled users to the shop page where the book is being sold, and then once the book is sold, the book fires off an automation that enrolls people into the course, that could work. But then what you want to do there is you're not selling the book for like $10, right? If the course is $100 and the book is $10, then you need to sell the book for $110 because you're auto enrolling into the course. That's one way to do that. You could also do that with the Easy Digital Download integration. So if this wasn't already set up on WooCommerce, it might be easier to use Easy Digital Downloads, because Easy Digital Downloads has an integration with LifterLMS where you can automate enrolling someone in a course or enrolling someone in a membership based on the purchase of a product. So for instance, I have a let's go back over here. I have a website, actionleadershipteam.com. Okay. And in this project, I have a book. And if somebody buys the book that I wrote, here we go. Action Leadership from the Edge. So if somebody buys this book, access the ebook or get an EPUB for your device. But if somebody buys this book, they get enrolled into the courses that I offer for free with the book. And so that takes them over to here. And so if someone buys the book, I have the system set up to enroll them into the course that goes with the book, which is right here, Introduction to Leadership Core Curriculum. And then the VIP sessions are the parts that are sold, right? So that's the upsell on that one. So that's one of the things that you can do as far as making that kind of a thing, right? So if you want someone to buy something before they get access to something, if you're going to use WooCommerce, I think you're going to end up putting in some kind of automation tool like WP Fusion to kind of create a tag and then have that tag sign into something. But like I said, there's other tools out there. So in the case of a digital product, I can sell that Easy Digital Download and then give people access to the course right on the back end of that. All right. And I guess we'll talk about this for a second. I see people in here. You guys are torturing me today by not putting in comments or not talking to me. But for those of you that are new to LifterLMS, wondering what this is about, saying, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe Kurt's live again on the internet. I can't believe he's doing another live." For those of you that are new to what this is, LifterLMS is a learning management system. And we have lifterlms.com/try, where for just $1, I mean, literally just $1, you're able to get a 30-day access to a hosted example of a fully populated LifterLMS website. And so you just saw me working in a website that, had a lot of content in it, had sample courses, sample users. It has all of our add-ons. All of our available add-ons are in that product already. So if you are new to this kind of environment and you want to see what it's like to use it, our free core plugin, you could add that to your website, and you'd be like, bada boom, bada bing. But I'll be honest with you, if you're not familiar with how to run a learning management system and you add a blank one to the back of a website, there's a learning curve with that. Like trying to picture how things look without the content being there is sometimes a difficult leap for the human brain. And so using that try feature that we have, using the trial with a demo site, you're able to get a fully populated, fully functional, working LifterLMS website with all the add-ons. And so you're able to see our social learning plugin. You're able to have groups. You're able to do sample purchases. You're able to see what the registration kind of user experience is. All of that is in there. And so, like I said, you can sample that for just $1 and it's 30 days. So you get that hosted example for 30 days. You can break it. You can add things to it. You can put extra plugins in to see if there's conflicts. You can do pretty much whatever you want with that hosted example of a website. And then one of the things you can do is if you wanted to try the course builder and build a course inside that demo site, if you actually put the time in and built the course and you didn't want to lose the work, you could export that course. And then when you opt for your own LifterLMS instance, you would be able to import that course directly into your own website. So the work that you do in the demo is not a waste. It's something that you can take on to the next thing. I'm starting to think that everybody else on the internet went to WordCamp Asia because nobody's putting any comments in. Let me go check Slack real quick and make sure I'm not missing any messaging from anybody. Okay, we're looking good there. All right. Let's jump into Facebook and I'll see if there are any questions there that we can kind of pick up and run through. Let's see. Oh, how can I add a button? Well, let's just take a copy of it here. Let's put it right into comments. All right. This is a long one. This is a fantastic lady, by the way. So this is from Maurizia Sartori, I think is how you say her last name. She is from Italy and super nice lady. But let's take a look at what her question is. She put this into, this is in our LifterLMS Mastermind group on Facebook. So it's kind of an exclusive group for people that opt for the Universe or Infinity bundles. So I wanted to make sure I cover this, but she says, hello, LifterLMS professionals. How can I add a button or a link to the last quiz of an entire course to redirect the students to the homepage? As it is now, the student doesn't understand that it is the last quiz and continues to try to take it more than once. I'm working with Astra and Beaver Builder on that site. I appreciate any suggestions. Let me run you through what is happening there. Let me make sure that I have an instance up. Let's go to a different, put up a different demo site. Here we go. This one. Yep, came up. Good. All right, so I'm going to go add this to stage. I'm probably going to get, you know what? Let's go ahead and get rid of that so it doesn't take up all the screen. And let's go into our dashboard. Something interesting that Maurizia is pointing out here, and that is if we go into a course, and I'm going to try to pick a course. I think we have the Quick Start course. If I edit this, I'm going to be looking for the lesson that has the quiz. Come on, sweet thing. Name of your course. It's a short one. Let me get into, well, I'll try one more, and then if not, we'll just add a quiz. How about that? But let's go Quick Start. Arthur Wells. Let's try this one. I don't think this one's going to have it either. We'll fake it. We'll fake it till we make it. How about that? One, two, three, four. All right, so we're going to go into the course builder. I didn't see one with a quiz there, so I'm just going to go ahead and go into get started. And this one does have a quiz. Look at that. Edit the quiz, right? So we probably did this on another call. So what is LifterLMS? You'll notice there's a hover menu that pops out here. Open the WordPress editor, open to view the lesson, move it down, shift it up, right? And so there's shift down, right? Move to previous section, move to the next section, detach the lesson. So that's a neat one. You can detach the lesson from the course, but it doesn't delete the lesson. It means you can add it to a different course later if you want. And then our standard menu is here. So you have your settings. This tells you that there's an assignment. This tells you that there's a quiz or not, if it's highlighted, right? So this one's highlighted blue. It tells me that there's a quiz. There's content inside this lesson. And this one has a video. This one had no audio. And then enrolled students only. So it's a locked course, right? I could make it a free one if I wanted to, right? I could open it up and say, the lesson is free. And then look what happens to the lock, right? So you can turn that off. And then of course, no prerequisite. or drip. Drip is you could make people wait before they take the lesson. You could say, "Oh, if you finish lesson 1, I'm going to make you wait 2 weeks before you take lesson 2." You can totally do that. You can have a drip thing set up. But what we're taking a look at today is quizzes. So if we go to the page that this is on, you're going to notice that there is content and then take quiz. And what Maurizia is talking about is when somebody finishes the quiz, they get back to the lesson and they don't realize that they're done. They don't realize that they're done with the course. And so what I would do in this instance, this is more like a user experience workaround than it is talking about the quiz process. Think about what happens here. So when we start the quiz opens up and it does its things. What's the best LMS? LifterLMS, right? Boom. So it finishes that. It tells me right there, 100% passed, right? So you get a little confused as to like, what does the student think? Because in this instance, we have a next lesson, but what Maurizia is saying is that's the last lesson. So people get there and they get confused. So what I would do in that situation is I would make a next lesson. So I would go back to the course builder. So if I click edit lesson here, that'll give me a WordPress edit screen. And that'll take me to launching the course builder. What I would literally do is I would go down. So let's say that her quiz is here, right? Start course marketing, and she's got a quiz here. I would literally add another lesson, and I would say, congratulations, right? And then in this congratulations, and I want to save it. Make sure that I got it saved. Is it saved? There it goes, saving changes. And so now what I would want to do is go in here. And if you remember, she said she wanted people to go back to the home page. So I would be right here. Congratulations. You have successfully completed this wonderful course. Please return to the home page. She said home page, right? And so what I would do is I would probably put in a buttons, head on home, and /home. Pull up, come on, do me something. Just leave it like that. Okay, there we go, home. And if we wanted to, we could even open it in a new tab, but we don't need to because we're all on the same website. And then, of course, you can style this up. Where do you want it? Do you want it, in the middle? Do you want it, do you want a wide width? Like, where do you want to put things? So you can style it up. You can do whatever you want. And keep in mind, you can always remove the mark complete if you wanted to, if you thought it was too confusing, right? So you can do all kinds of things. And then this will take them straight back to the home page. Now, what I would typically do, instead of referring people back to the home page, I would say, please return to your dashboard. Hold on. To your student dashboard. Okay. Now you might say, well, gee, Kurt, what are you trying to do with the dashboard? So I'll say not head on home. This is going to be go to your dashboard, go to dashboard. And then I, of course, would fix this link and we would say, dashboard. Come on, give me something. Make it happen. There we go. So now we're going to go to the dashboard. Okay. Here's why I'm going to say I would send them to the dashboard. Let's go. I'm just going to leave because I don't need to save this. So I'm just going to leave, go over here to the front of our website. We're going to click on dashboard. When someone successfully completes the course, especially if it's giving a certificate, if we send them back to the dashboard, they're going to be able to say, oh, my achievements and my certificates. And they're going to be able to say, oh, I did complete that, and here's my certification for that. They can click on that. It'll pull up that certification for them. They can print it, they can save it, or they can enable sharing. If they enable the sharing, which I just did, they can take this link and they can send that link anywhere they want. They can put it in emails, they can put it on social media, they can do whatever they want with the certificate. And of course, they can disable the sharing, which will turn off that link. Even if they put that link out already, once you disable the sharing, it turns off the sharing properties of that. So the link would just be a dead link. So they can go back, look at all certificates they may have earned. So it takes them back to their certificates page. And if they want to know what course they're supposed to take next, they could go back to a list of my courses and they can say, oh, okay, so I'm done with the quick start course. Now I'm going to take the crypto apps course. And they could just run through and have their student journey through their dashboard. So instead of sending them to the homepage, I would probably send them to their dashboard. Like the homepage, in my mind, the homepage is where new people should land in your website. That's where you're trying to like sell the entrance into your training program. You're trying to like a lead page, right? You're just trying to make something happen on that front page. But once someone's behind the paywall, once someone is a student, I'm going to leverage my dashboard, the membership and the course catalogs, and of course the social tools if I've got social tools in my website. This example has social tools. So if you want to do turn on our social learning plugin, you would see that people get their own profiles, right? So you can have a profile page, you can change your cover image, you can change your avatar picture, things like that. There's a timeline where it shows the activity of everybody, right? So everybody that is participating in the website gets added to the timeline. Like here you can see Reinhold has added something way back on January 19th, 2022. But this keeps all that stuff in the timeline. And a people directory is where, of course, you would have a member directory. Now, some people honestly probably might not have a member directory. They'd say, no, I want people to have their profile and I want them to be able to friend other people from class, but I don't necessarily want to have a full picture member gallery, inside my learning site. And if that were the case, you just wouldn't make that public. You would hide that page and you wouldn't put it onto your main menu, if that makes sense. And then of course, I've already mentioned groups. So I'm just going to show you groups real quick. We've got a system inside LifterLMS where you can have groups, and these groups enable people to train people as a group. So let's say I want to sell, let's say the industry association comes to me and they say, hey, I want to take that crypto apps course that you have. And in this case, they want 550 seats. So they might prepay for 550 seats. We set up this group for them, right? The industry association, they can put in their own cover image, they can put in their own business icon, and then they can put whatever they want in their About Me section. But this is what they get access to when people are signed up into it. So when people are signed up into the group, they get auto-enrolled into this membership and whatever courses are attached to that membership. And the people that bought the group are able to manage their members right there, and they can add people as they see fit. So like my name is Kurt Von Onen, right? So Kurt Von Onen at gmail.com. I'm going to add myself as a member, send the invitation, and it's just that easy. That invitation now will go to my email. Once I accept that invitation, I would be added to this members list. And if we want to see the members that are currently in this group, we click on members and we can select a member if we want. Let's do that. Reports, that's what I'm looking for. And now I can select somebody in reports and it'll tell me specifically what their progress is and what courses they're involved in. So these are the courses that they're in. This is the last, this is when they enrolled in those courses. And then this is the progress that they have in those courses. And of course, if they've taken any quizzes, those relevant grades would be posted in the grade column. And so What's really cool about using groups, what I really love about groups, is people don't have to come to me to generate some user report once a week. They can just go into the website themselves and they can access their group and they can pull their own report. And if we, oh, where was it? Where was it? Is it being covered? Might be getting covered. They can export this. They can export this report as well. Let me go to reports. Yeah, there's a way to export the report. I digress. Let me go back and see if anyone has hit us up yet. Nope. So anyway, that's kind of a long answer to Mauritius' question. But if I wanted to have somebody go somewhere as they finished a quiz, that is what I would do with them. I would probably just add an extra lesson at the end. Oh, my reminder's going off telling me to come to the pre-sales call. I would probably just build that extra lesson, congratulate them for finishing, and then refer them to the user dashboard. That's kind of how I would make that run. Let's see what we have in here. Nope. So I've already answered all of those. I'm going to go back to Facebook and see if I'm missing something there. Here we go. It's so weird when you go to a page and you see yourself moving around on it. I just went to the, let's see, Penny's got questions in here. Penny's got, she's a good source of questions, this one. Yep. Here's one. Capacity reach message. No, that's really not a use case. That's somebody who doesn't understand how the internet works. I don't want to read you that one. I'll just confuse you. Is there anyone giving their students discounts on products in their WooCommerce shop? If so, how did you implement that functionality in Woo? Students on our site can purchase a diamond membership level of our 2 online courses, amongst other perks. They get 10% off on merchandise. Rather than using a coupon code, which would have been the first thing I would have suggested, I'd like to automate their discount on merch at checkout. The issue I see is that when using Woo to purchase the LifterLMS courses, their user role is customer. So they're not differentiated from customers who are not students. In a perfect world, I'd like to display the member pricing to all shop visitors as an incentive to become a member. For reference on the back end, I've set up one product in Woo with 4 variations. The variations are the 2 courses plus the 2 courses at the diamond member level. Okay, the first thing I would do, if I had a WooCommerce shop and I was looking to do something extra in WooCommerce, I would search the WooCommerce marketplace. That's the very first thing I would do. Somebody in the WooCommerce marketplace has a tool that you can buy that will do exactly this. That almost goes without saying. So, and I got to check, am I still sharing? No, I'm not sharing the screen. I'm just reading to you guys. Okay. And so the first thing I would do is I would check the WooCommerce, marketplace, and I would be like, does this product exist? If the product doesn't exist, I'd go a step further and say, it's WordPress. Can I do this? Absolutely, I can do this. I just need to figure out how. So if we think about like WP Fusion, or we think about CRM tools, or we think about things like that, there are automations that we can use with tags. And so if somebody buys a course and they're a customer through your WooCommerce store, you can add the tag of student. And then you could set up some automation somehow that says anybody with the tag of student gets a 10% discount. Now, programmatically, you'd have to put that in place, but that's kind of like the line of thinking that's coming to my head right away. If I'm not going to buy a ready-made tool through the WooCommerce marketplace that does just what I want, and I say this flippantly, and I know that sometimes I get a little bit of kickback on this, WooCommerce has an unbelievable amount of options. The problem with WooCommerce is that each one of those options comes with the swipe of a credit card. Anything you want to do in WooCommerce costs extra. So There's very few things that you can find for free to plug into WooCommerce to get what you want to do. So whether it's $50 a year or $100 a year, or in some cases $250 a year, there's going to be a tool that'll do what you need to do in WooCommerce, because somewhere somebody else has had that same problem. So I would go to the WooCommerce marketplace, see if there's something that meets your budget that you can plug in and have make happen. Chances are it's going to add a tag to the students or to the membership level that you want to discount, and then automate a price change or discount rate for people with that tag. And so my assumption is that's how that's going to work. What I'm going to do is I am going to copy the link from this live, and I'm going to go, hey, Penny talked about this 50 minutes in. Hey, Penny talked about this 50 minutes in. All right. So that is something that I think would help Penny out in that regard. Like I said, if you wanted to set up some kind of an automation on your own, I think you'd be looking at, a tagging situation with WP Fusion, and then kind of articulating an automation path that way. But I'm pretty sure there'd be something easier to do through the WooCommerce marketplace. And I thought, whoops, nope, she's in here more than once. So let me copy that, and I'll put this here. And then I'll delete my comment here. I know, just what you guys want to hear. It's not very entertaining like that, is it? Let me check for comments. Y'all are quiet. Y'all are quiet. I got people in here live. I can see numbers. I see that people are in here, and it makes me wonder, who's watching? Is it just Chris and Will making fun of me in Asia? That would be funny. Hey, Kurt, we saw you struggling live and nobody would talk to you. Yeah, I could see that happening. But here's the next question from Penny. I have a question about setting up course upgrades in LifterLMS with a WooCommerce integration. I'm looking to create upgrade products for current students enrolled in a course who want to purchase either the diamond level package or their course for a more advanced course, available at both regular and diamond package levels. Okay, first off, we have webinars on this kind of thing. And so I am going to go over here, select webinars. It would be really cool if I could just find the one right off the bat. LifterLMS webinars. And I wonder if I could do a quick search for upgrade. Nope. Upsell. Nope. Not seeing it there. There's a way to do a upsell in LifterLMS right through the native payment gateway. And some people are like, oh, I didn't even think you could do that. Yeah, you can do that. So let me close some of these windows here, because unlike Will, I will lose my mind. All right. And let me go into a screen share for you. And we've only got a minute left here, so I'm going to try and make this one pretty quick. I'm going to go into courses. I'm just going to pick one, business budgeting, because I'm running low on time. I'm going to edit this course. And here's something that you can do. So let's say somebody buys, this a la carte course, right? They're just going to buy. So there's a course with membership where they buy the course by themselves. And she wants to sell a diamond membership, but they're just buying the regular course. So if we open up this access plan, what we're going to see here is a checkout redirect at the bottom. So a checkout redirect can go to a WordPress page, a custom URL somewhere else, or return back to the course. Usually people buy a course and they get delivered to the course. But what you could do is they buy the course and then you take them to another page within the website where you create that, hey, one chance offer, get the diamond membership at blah, 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 right? And so you have that one-time upsell opportunity. You could build that right in, just like a funnel, right into the native LifterLMS payment gateway. That is one way to go. The other way to go, of course, would be to, do some kind of multi-step funnel system with a CRM tool or something like that. So if you wanted to jump in that way, you could. And with that, folks, we are at the top of the hour. We have finished. For the folks that have been with me this whole live, because I have seen the numbers at the top left of the screen, shame on you for not joining the conversation. I hope that I was able to come with some information that made sense. My throat hurts, so I think I talked a lot. All right. Will, I hope you're having a good time in WordCamp Asia, and I will see you when you return next week. Other than that, folks, we will be back next Thursday at 12 o'clock Central Time. Again, the pre-sales call. We will answer any questions that you have regarding LifterLMS. You can join us in the chat, or as you've seen today, we'll go through some of the other support channels that we have and bring things to people's attention. With that, have a great day. And for those of you in the Universe and Infinity bundles, I will see you an hour from now on the Mastermind.